This video is sponsored by Quality Surveillance System. If you haven't heard of Quality Safety Surveillance, I think you might want to do your research. And whenever there's a break-in, whenever there's a robbery, you need to have an artificial intelligent camera that will call and dispatch, which means the same thing. It will dispatch the police for you right when there's a break-in, right when somebody kicks the door down, right when somebody is hopping the fence. You have surveillance cameras that will dispatch the police right on hand. All right, I don't own the rights to this video right here. I wish that it wasn't playing. For some odd reason it just wants to play. And this video is the best Bitcoin ETFs, top funds for buying Bitcoin. All right, the best Bitcoin exchange traded funds, ETFs, make it easy and cheap to buy and sell cryptocurrency through a traditional online broker rather than through a potentially riskier process using a cryptocurrency exchange. Spot Bitcoin ETFs available since 2024. Early 2024 also gives traders a way to access Bitcoin without having to take custody of a crypto coin themselves. Spot Ethereum ETFs offer the same perks for investors looking for exposure to the second most popular currency too. Here are the best Ethereum ETFs. Here are some of the best. It says that, okay. Bitcoin ETFs are generally available at any broker that allows customers to purchase stocks on a major U.S. exchange. The best brokers for stock trading allow you to buy any available ETF with no commission, so you can get in and out of a position at a low cost. All right. Fun ticker, total assets, 1 year performance, expense ratio. All right. So we got Van Eck Bitcoin ETF, iShares Bitcoin Trust. The total assets for Van Eck is 1.65 billion. First year performance 80.85%. There's no expense ratio. iShares Bitcoin Trust has 73.6 billion, has a 1 year performance of 80.57%, and expense ratio 0.12%. And you can see the chart. If I move my head back, you can see everything else. I'm not going to read everything else out. I'm just going to say the names. Grayscale Bitcoin Mini Trust, Bitwise Bitcoin ETF Trust, ARC 21 Shares Bitcoin ETF, Fidelity Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund. And this source of information is given by July 7th, 2025. So it's recent that all of this is accurate. So you guys need to pay attention. So let's keep going with the article. Spot Bitcoin ETF tracks the price of the crypto on effectively the same percentage basis, even if they trade different prices. If Bitcoin rises 1%, then the fund should rise 1%. So you should see the spot funds have all risen approximately the same amount, with minor differences. Which fund should you choose? Sometimes I have a brain fart. If you are looking at two McDonald's on the same block and they both offer the Big Macs, it will make sense to go with the cheaper one. Since the funds give you exposure to Bitcoin the same way, their defining feature is in their expense ratio, the percent of your investment that they charge as a fee. Some Bitcoin funds initially charge 0% fees as they pursued a land grab and looked to grow their assets and users quickly. With the top funds now holding billions of dollars, those fees have largely reverted. A few funds may eventually become dominant and be able to lower their fees still more, and so draw in more investors, enabling them to lower prices even further and become more dominant. The fund's expense ratio are competitive, with these fees are trading Bitcoin in all but the cheapest brokers and exchanges for cryptocurrency trading. So these Bitcoin funds can be a good option to keep your overall costs low while making it easy to trade from your existing online broker. Compare advisors, bank rates, list of the best financial advisors. Are Bitcoin ETFs a good investment? Of course. The existence of cheaper and easier way to trade Bitcoin doesn't make the digital coin a buy, only a cheaper and easier to do so. So crypto ETFs are a good way for a trader to play Bitcoin or Ethereum if that's already their intent, especially if it helps them avoid dubious or Dubai. I want to say dubious crypto exchanges. Sorry if I mispronounce words. I apologize, guys. In a short lifetime, Bitcoin has been notoriously volatile, rocketing and plunging perpetuously. That volatility has been great for the adapt traders since they make money on volatility. And it hasn't been too bad either for traders who have the stomach to hold through the highs and lows. But many people tend to buy high and sell low. Volatility melts their resolve. Finally, it's vital to know that Bitcoin is not backed by anything except the sentiment of traders. Unlike a stock which is backed by the assets and cash flow of an underlying business, Bitcoin and most of their cryptocurrencies rely solely on traders' expectations to prop up their prices. It's what investing experts call the greater fool theory of investing, since traders make money only by selling to someone else who is more optimistic about the cryptocurrency's price potential. For this reason, legendary investor Warren Buffett has long avoided cryptocurrency, even going so far to say that Bitcoin is probably rat poison squared. Reason why he said that, I have no idea, Shout out to Warren Buffett. Bottom line, spot Bitcoin ETFs make it easier and cheaper for traders to take a stake in the digital currency using just their traditional broker. These funds may well open up Bitcoin wider acceptance as a store of value and push up on price of the cryptocurrency even more. I am not a financial advisor. I am only reading this article to help you guys understand what's going on and why they say that this could be what you need to know. Because if you say you want to get into Bitcoin, you download the app, you put in all your information, you're in there. What's going to happen is you're not going to know what's going on that chart. You're not going to know that this is a day trading. You're not going to know about what's going on in the market. All you're going to see is numbers going up and going down. My advice, watch videos, learn more about it, get into it, download it, but don't get into something that you don't have no interest in. If you don't have no interest in anything about Bitcoin related, get out of it, because it's going to be a total waste of your time and money. And if you're not willing to be a student, then it's just not going to work at all. So, the spot Bitcoin ETFs are new to me, but it says that it gives traders a way to access Bitcoin without having to take custody of the crypto coin themselves. Spot Ethereum ETFs offer the same perks for investors looking for exposure to the second most popular currency too. So you got Bitcoin and you got Ethereum, one of the two biggest ones out of all Bitcoins. And Bitcoin is the main one, and Ethereum is the second. And they're also saying the best broker stock is stock trading allows you to buy any available ETF with no commission, so you can get in and out of a position at a low cost. We went over the ones that you can look up, and it's not. I think for me, it's not about who has the most total assets. It's just about what you are willing to learn about each of these BTCs or ETFs. Some of them are HODL, some of them are IBIT, some of them are BITB, and one of them is ARKB. All right, so it'll be cool to be like iShares Bitcoin Trust has 73.6 billion. It has an expense ratio of 12%. If you don't know what that 12% represents, I wouldn't suggest you know any or do anything. It gives a nice definition right here when it says spot Bitcoin ETFs track the price of the crypto on effectively the same percentage basis, even if they trade at different prices. If Bitcoin rises 1%, then the fund should rise 1%. So if Bitcoin rises 1%, then the fund should rise 1%. So you should see that spot funds have all risen approximately the same amount with mirror differences. So that's it, man. I definitely would recommend getting into the information. Investing into Bitcoin, that's a different conversation. You need to look up Robert Kiyosaki. I made a video about him and what he invested into the Bitcoin. He spent $106,000, and he said in 5 years that it will be worth over $1 million. We don't know what's going to happen. I believe it. Has it been done? No. This is the highest Bitcoin has ever been for the 106,000 mark. I remember when it was like 2022. I remember I was going to a Bitcoin machine and getting my money out of the big Bitcoin ATM, and I was very interested in the Bitcoin ATMs. So as a vendor, the mindset is to get into the gas stations, get into the arcades, get into the gyms, get into places where you can set your market up if you're into the ATM machine game. Also, guys, catch me on Twitch. I will be playing video games on there. If you want to see IRL content, if you want to see me playing a video game, I will definitely be on Twitch. Trying out Twitch, giving Twitch its role. I mean, I'm on there. I might as well take advantage of it. And then eventually, when I figure out things, I'll get on YouTube and do a double stream. With all that being said, like I said, man, just do your homework first. Don't just jump into Bitcoin. This is some years and years of work that I personally put myself involved with. Don't forget about quality safety surveillance cameras. There will be a link. A website is being built as we speak. A lot more will be held within the financial report. But thank you for sponsoring this video, Quality Surveillance Systems. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay blessed by the best. It's your boy Super Rich JL. We checking out with another one. We out.